Lawyer dismisses client, until her courage surprises everyone. The rain hadn't stopped for hours. It struck the courthouse windows like fingers drumming on glass, impatient and relentless. Inside, attorney Michael Whitlock stood in his office, coat already on, tie loosened, eyes fixed on the clock. He was done for the night, until his assistant poked her head in and whispered, "Someone's here to see you, says it's urgent." He sighed, ready to refuse, but the woman who stepped into the room stopped him. She was soaked, shivering, clutching a thin folder to her chest. Her name was Ava Reynolds, 28, black, a schoolteacher from South Carolina, soft-spoken but with eyes that held something fierce, like coals under ash. Michael didn't sit. "I'm not taking new cases," he said. "Try public defense." But she didn't move. "They took my brother," she said quietly. "He didn't do what they're saying, and you're the only one who ever beat that judge in court." Her voice trembled, but her spine stayed straight. Michael's jaw tensed. The name of the judge, Richardson, hit him harder than he expected. He took the folder without looking at her. "I can't help you." He placed it on the desk, unopened. She swallowed. "I walked 3 hours in the rain to get here." She turned, her shoulders tight. Before she reached the door, she said without looking back, "If you won't help, just say you're afraid. It'll hurt less than thinking you don't care." Then she left. Michael froze. He hated that her words followed him home, into the silence of his empty apartment. He poured a drink, stared at the folder on his table, untouched, like a wound he refused to examine. He ignored it until 2 a.m. Then he opened it. Inside were photographs, her brother Elijah, handcuffed, face bruised. Statements from neighbors, black, white, Hispanic, all claiming he tried to break up a fight outside a convenience store, not start it. A video clip, shaky, low quality, where Elijah shouted, "Stop, he's just a kid," before officers tackled him. Michael rubbed his temples. He knew Judge Richardson, knew how he dismissed cases involving police force, knew how justice bent quietly in his courtroom, invisible to cameras. At sunrise, Michael walked into his office early. He didn't expect to see Ava there, sitting in the dark, clothes still damp. "Why are you here?" he asked. She didn't smile. "Hope doesn't wait for office hours." He stared at her. For the first time, he really looked, at the exhaustion under her eyes, at her trembling fingers wrapped around a chipped coffee mug she must have found in the break room. And something in him, maybe pride, maybe guilt, shifted. "I'll take the case," he said. She exhaled so softly it sounded like a prayer. From that moment, everything moved fast. Michael gathered evidence. Ava knocked on doors, spoke to strangers, begged for statements. Some people helped, a white farmer who'd seen the arrest from his porch, a black nurse who treated Elijah's bruises. Some slammed doors. Some said, he should have known better than to get involved. Late one night, Michael found Ava asleep at the office desk, documents spread around her like fallen feathers. A tear-stained photo of her and Elijah sat by her hand. He covered her with his coat and turned away before his heart did something foolish. The trial began on a gray Monday. Reporters filled the hallway. Some saw a racial case. Some saw a political one. Ava saw her brother in an orange jumpsuit, wrists shackled, trying to smile. Prosecutor Hale, sharp suit, cold blue eyes, claimed Elijah assaulted an officer, resisting arrest. Judge Richardson sat high above, unreadable. Michael's opening argument was calm, steady. But when Ava spoke as the first witness, the courtroom shifted. Her voice wavered only once. "He called me that night," she said, eyes glistening. "He told me he couldn't watch that kid get hurt. He said doing nothing is worse than doing wrong." The courtroom was silent. Even Judge Richardson paused his pen. Hale tried to rattle her. "Are you emotionally stable enough to testify objectively?" She didn't blink. "I'm not here to be stable. I'm here to be honest." A murmur swept through the room. Michael glanced at her. Something like awe flickered in his eyes. Over the next days, witnesses spoke. The farmer, The nurse, a police officer who hesitated, then admitted Elijah never threw a punch. But then came Officer Carlyle, the arresting officer. White, firm. He claimed Elijah threatened him, claimed he feared for his life. His words were smooth, practiced. Some jurors nodded. Others stared at their hands. That night, Ava stood in the hallway, staring at the rain outside. Michael approached. "We can still win." She shook her head. "This isn't about winning. It's about someone finally hearing him." Michael opened his mouth, then closed it. He realized he'd spent years fighting cases, not people. But Ava, she fought for hearts, not headlines. On the final day, Michael called an unexpected witness. A quiet teenage boy, Hispanic, hair messy, voice soft. He had filmed the incident from behind a dumpster. His video was clearer. It showed Elijah stepping between a young boy and an officer, hands raised. No punches, no threats, just courage. The courtroom gasped. Judge Richardson leaned forward. Officer Carlyle's face went pale. Michael looked at Ava. She didn't smile. She just closed her eyes, as if holding back a flood. The jury whispered among themselves. Hale objected. Richardson called for a short recess. Ava walked into the hallway, hand over her mouth, breathing hard. Michael followed. "You did this," he said quietly. "Not me." She shook her head. "You listened. That's all I needed." Before he could reply, a bailiff opened the door. Court back in session. They exchanged a glance. Not of victory, but of understanding. Slow steps, heavy hearts. As they re-entered the courtroom, a low hum of voices died down. Judge Richardson adjusted his glasses, eyes fixed on Michael. "Mr. Whitlock," he said calmly, "before we proceed, I have a question regarding this new evidence." The room went still. Elijah lifted his head for the first time all day. Ava's breath caught. And in that suspended silence, where justice trembled between hands willing to catch or crush it, Judge Richardson leaned forward, lips parting to speak. Judge Richardson's voice cut across the silence, low and deliberate. "This video, if authenticated properly, it raises serious procedural and constitutional questions." Cameras clicked. Reporters leaned forward. Elijah's fingers tightened around the edge of the defense table. The judge continued. Officer Carlyle stepped forward. The officer hesitated, then walked toward the bench, jaw tense. The judge's stare was ice. "Under oath, you stated the defendant was violent. Yet this footage shows none of that. Do you wish to amend your testimony?" A hush spread across the courtroom like mist. Carlyle's throat bobbed. He opened his mouth, then shut it as his attorney gripped his sleeve. Michael watched carefully. Ava's hand slid beneath the table, fingers brushing Elijah's cuffed hand. Carlyle exhaled. "Your Honor, A loud bang interrupted him. The courtroom doors burst open. 2 uniformed deputies rushed in, whispering urgently into the judge's ear. His expression didn't change, but something heavy shifted in the air. "This court is in recess. Jury is dismissed. Mr. Whitlock, Ms. Reynolds, remain." Gasps. Confusion. Reporters shouted, "What's happening?" Elijah was pulled back by officers, chains clinking as he looked over his shoulder toward his sister. She stood, breath unsteady. "Michael, what's going on?" He didn't answer. He didn't know. The judge's chambers smelled of old books and wood polish. Michael and Ava stood opposite Richardson, who sat slowly, hands clasped on the desk. No cameras, no jury, just truth or something close to it. Richardson's voice was softer now. "That video was never part of discovery." His eyes shifted to Michael. "You're accusing law enforcement of withholding evidence. Do you understand what that means?" Michael held his ground. "I'm not accusing. I'm proving." Ava stepped forward, voice quiet. "My brother is dying in that cell while the truth sits in a file nobody wants to open." For a moment, the judge didn't speak. Rain tapped the window. His gaze lingered on Ava, this young woman who had no power, no title, only stubborn courage. When he spoke again, his voice carried something different. Weariness, regret, There are things about this case you don't know. Michael frowned. Then tell us. But before the judge could respond, a knock came. The door opened. Prosecutor Hale stepped inside, face pale for once. Judge, the sheriff's department just notified us, she said. Officer Carlisle. He's missing. Silence. Heavy and stunned. Ava blinked. Missing? What do you mean, missing? Hale's lips pressed into a thin line. He left the courthouse during recess. His squad car was found abandoned. Door open. Radio still on. Michael's pulse quickened. So he fled. Hale shook her head once. It doesn't look like he fled. She hesitated. It looks like he was taken. Judge Richardson stood abruptly. This is now a criminal matter outside the court's jurisdiction. He looked at Ava and Michael with a warning in his eyes. Whatever happens next, stay out of it. For your own safety. But Ava took a step forward. Sir, if someone is trying to silence him, we're next. No one disagreed. That afternoon, tension crackled across the courthouse like static. Reporters swarmed. Police vehicles spun red and blue across rain-soaked streets. Elijah was transferred to a higher security holding facility for protection. Ava wasn't allowed to see him. She waited in the lobby, hands clasped so tightly her knuckles whitened. Michael paced. This isn't just a bad arrest anymore, he muttered. Someone's burying the whole truth. Ava stared at the elevator doors. Then we dig. Hours passed. Dusk turned to night. Most people left. The courthouse halls emptied, lights dimming. Michael gathered his files. Let me drive you home, he said. Ava shook her head. No, I'm staying here. If they move him again, I want to know. He hesitated, then sat beside her. Midnight. The building was nearly silent. A vending machine hummed softly. Somewhere, a janitor's cart squeaked. Then footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Michael stood. A man approached from the far end of the corridor. Tall. Rain dripping from his coat. Face shadowed under a hood. Ava's breath caught. Sir, can we help you? The man stopped a few feet away. He didn't answer. Instead, he extended his hand. In it, a flash drive. Wet. Cold. This? His voice was hoarse. This is everything. Michael frowned. Who are you? The man pushed back his hood. His face was bruised. Blood at his temple. It was the teenage boy's uncle, the quiet mechanic who refused to testify earlier in the trial. His eyes were red, terrified. They're coming for anyone who talks, he said. Take it and run. Ava reached out, took the drive carefully. What's on it? His voice dropped to a whisper. Body cam footage, not just Carlisle's. All of them. They knew Elijah was innocent. They knew. Michael's stomach sank. Why give it to us? The mechanic glanced over his shoulder, panic flickering. Because she asked me to. Michael's brows furrowed. She? He looked confused. The mechanic nodded shakily. She said you'd fight even when everyone else ran. His eyes rested on Ava. Your mother. Ava froze. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Michael turned sharply to her. Your what? But before she could answer, a loud echo boomed from the stairwell door at the end of the hall. Heavy boots, voices, radios crackling. The mechanic backed away, eyes wide. They're here. Michael grabbed Ava's hand. The flash drive burned in her fist. Move, he whispered, but she didn't. She stood still, eyes blazing, heart pounding. Footsteps drew closer. Shadows stretched across the floor. A voice shouted, Freeze! Don't move! And as the lights above flickered, casting everything into stuttering darkness, Ava turned to Michael, whispered, If we run now, they'll win. He stared at her, at the choice in her eyes, at the truth they held. The hallway lights blinked out completely. Only sirens outside painted red and blue ghosts against the glass. The stairwell door slammed open. Boots thundered toward them, and somewhere in the darkness, someone cocked a gun. A flashlight beam cut through the darkness like a blade. Hands where we can see them, a voice roared. Ava didn't move. Michael stepped in front of her, raising his hands slowly. The mechanic backed into the shadows, trembling, the outline of his bruised face barely visible. The beam of light found Ava. "You, drop whatever is in your hand." Ava's fingers closed tighter around the flash drive hidden in her palm. Michael's voice was steady but low. "We're unarmed. You don't want to do—" "I said drop it." The officer barked again, stepping closer. More beams of light appeared, bouncing off the marble walls. Radios crackled. Boots thundered. Then, "Enough!" Judge Richardson's voice echoed from the far end of the hallway. Every light turned his way. He stood with two deputy marshals beside him, suits slightly disheveled, expression harder than steel. "These two are under court protection," he said. His tone left no room for argument. The officers hesitated. Some lowered their weapons. Others didn't. "Judge, sheriff's orders." "My orders override the sheriff," Richardson snapped. "Stand down before you turn this courthouse into a crime scene." Silence buzzed like electricity. One by one, weapons lowered. The tension didn't. Ava exhaled shakily. Michael's shoulders relaxed a fraction. Richardson approached, gaze landing on Ava. "You were told to stay out of this," he said, voice firm but not unkind. "I tried," she answered softly. "But they didn't." The judge's eyes shifted to the mechanic, barely visible in the shadows. "Come with us, now, before we're all arrested or worse." They moved, fast, down corridors lit by flickering exit signs, past echoing footsteps and whispering walls, through a service hallway that smelled of bleach and dust. They reached a secured stairwell. A marshal swiped a card. The door buzzed open. Inside, dim lights hummed above concrete steps. "Where are we going?" Michael asked. Richardson didn't look back. "Somewhere no one can intercept evidence or bullets." Ava gripped the flash drive so hard her palm hurt. "What about my brother?" "If what's on that drive is real," Richardson said, "your brother won't just be freed. The whole department will burn." They descended the stairwell. The mechanic limped behind them, breathing ragged. At the bottom, another door, another swipe. A metal passageway led to an underground garage reserved for federal transport. Black SUVs, no license plates, engines off, silent. Marshals opened the doors. "Get in," one instructed. Ava hesitated. "Judge, why are you helping us?" Richardson met her gaze. His voice softened, a crack in stone. "Because 30 years ago, I watched a good man go to prison for something he didn't do. I did nothing. I won't make that mistake twice." Michael and Ava exchanged stunned looks. They climbed in. Doors shut. Engines started. Tires rolled over wet pavement. The garage door lifted, revealing rain, night, flashing red and blue lights in the distant streets. They drove. No one spoke for miles. The city lights faded into dark back roads and pine trees shivering in the storm. Finally, Michael turned to the judge. "Where are we going?" "Safe house owned by the Federal Circuit," Richardson said. "Encrypted communications. No local interference." Ava's reflection trembled in the rain-soaked window. "And after that?" Richardson looked straight ahead. "After that, we decide whether to expose the truth or survive it." Hours passed. The SUV rolled up a narrow gravel road, headlights sweeping over an old cabin surrounded by towering trees. Isolated. Silent. Marshals checked the perimeter, cleared it. They entered. The inside was stark. Wooden walls, a long table, a humming generator. No warmth, but safe. For now. Ava sat, shoulders rigid. Michael placed a laptop on the table. "We need to see what's on the drive." The mechanic nodded weakly. "If it's still there, if they didn't find me first." His voice cracked. "They said, if I talked my son." Ava touched his hand gently. "You did the right thing." He didn't answer. Michael inserted the flash drive. The screen flickered. Folders. Dozens of video files. Labeled by date, time, officer names, body cam footage. Richardson leaned forward. Michael clicked the first file. Rainy street. Flashing police lights. Elijah. Hands raised. The young boy crying. Officer Carlisle shoving Elijah to the ground. Officer Mason whispering, "Cam's on. Turn it off. Now." The next file, audio of officers laughing afterward. Someone said, "Should have let the kid get hit. Less paperwork." Ava's hand flew to her mouth. Tears filled her eyes but didn't fall. "Play the last one," she whispered. Michael hesitated, then clicked. The footage was inside a precinct office. 2 officers, unfamiliar. One spoke into a phone. His voice was low, serious. "Elijah Reynolds is just the beginning. If the judge doesn't cooperate, we release the file. If the girl keeps pushing, deal with her too." Silence fell like a stone. The mechanic whispered, "I told you." "They're watching everyone." Lightning flashed through the cabin windows. Thunder answered, distant but coming closer. Richardson stood. "We need to get this to federal authorities before." Crack. The power died. The laptop screen went black. The hum of the generator stopped. Darkness swallowed the room. Only the sound of rain remained. Then voices. Outside. Tires on gravel. Headlights sweeping through the trees. Michael's voice was barely a breath. "They found us." Ava stood slowly. In her trembling hand, the flash drive. Her eyes met Michael's in the dark. "If they take this, Elijah is gone. Everything is gone." Richardson whispered, "Stay quiet. Don't move until I..." Glass shattered. A flashlight beam cut through the window. "Federal marshals. Open the door." Another voice shouted from the opposite side. Angrier, familiar, drenched in hostility. "This is Sheriff Keller. Step out with your hands up." 2 forces, 2 doors, 1 truth. Rain hammered the roof like a warning. Ava looked between Michael, the judge, and the door. Her heart thundered. The flash drive burned in her fist. Sheriff Keller shouted again, "You have 5 seconds." And in the darkness of that trembling cabin, with justice closing in from both sides, someone reached for the door handle. The cabin vibrated with tension. Rain hammered the roof. 2 commands echoed outside, one from federal marshals, one from Sheriff Keller. Michael stood frozen, breath shallow. Judge Richardson's voice was a whisper, "Nobody moves unless..." But Ava stepped forward. She didn't wait for permission, didn't wait for someone else to be brave. She walked straight to the door. "Ava, no!" Michael hissed. She turned, eyes reflecting both fear and fire. "If we keep hiding, they'll decide the truth for us." Her hand wrapped around the cold metal handle. Sheriff Keller's voice boomed from outside, "Open up, now!" Judge Richardson nodded, barely. "Slowly," he murmured, hands visible, no sudden moves. Ava opened the door. Wind and rain rushed in. Sheriff Keller stood in the mud, flanked by armed deputies. On the opposite side of the clearing, federal marshals, weapons drawn. Red and blue lights flashed like heartbeat pulses against the trees. The mechanic cowered behind the doorway. Michael stood beside Ava now. Judge Richardson stepped forward, coat soaked in seconds. "This is a federal matter," the marshal declared, badge raised. "Step aside." Keller glared. "That evidence belongs to this county. You're outside your..." Ava stepped between them. "This evidence belongs to no county," she said, voice steady. "It belongs to the truth." Keller's jaw tightened. "You think truth will save you?" Ava didn't flinch. "Maybe not, but lies already killed enough people." For one suspended moment, no one spoke. No gun moved. No breath dared to break. Then Richardson raised his hands. "I, Judge Henry Richardson, am placing all evidence regarding the Elijah Reynolds case into federal protection. Any interference will be considered obstruction of justice." Sheriff Keller's deputies exchanged nervous glances. The marshals stepped forward. One held out a hand. Ava looked at the flash drive in her palm. Wet, trembling, everything. Michael whispered, "It's your call." She looked at Keller, rage in his eyes. At the marshals, uncertainty. At Michael, faith. Then she placed the drive into the marshal's open hand. Keller lunged. "You don't know what you're starting." Federal agents raised their weapons. "Stand down." Keller's men hesitated, backed off. The sheriff lowered his gun, eyes burning into Ava's. "You just doomed yourself," he growled. She didn't blink. "Maybe, but I saved him." Elijah's name didn't need to be spoken. Everyone felt it. The marshals escorted Ava, Michael, the mechanic, and Judge Richardson into armored vehicles. Sheriff Keller's men retreated reluctantly, radios crackling with thinly veiled panic. As the SUV door closed, Michael turned to Ava. Rain streaked the glass like tears. "You know, this isn't over." She nodded. "Good. It shouldn't be." Days passed. Headlines exploded. Body cam footage leaked. Corruption probe launched. Officers suspended. Protests ignited across the state. Black and white, rich and poor, standing together. Elijah was released from custody. Frail, silent, but free. He stepped into the daylight, chains removed but trauma still heavy. Ava hugged him, tears finally falling. Reporters swarmed. Microphones pushed. "Ms. Reynolds, how do you feel?" She looked straight into the cameras. Rain clouds above. Elijah at her side. Her voice steady. "I'm tired, but I'm not done." The screen cut to news anchors, analysts, opinion panels. The world debated. But in the quiet of her small living room that night, Ava sat with Elijah, Michael, and Judge Richardson. No cameras, no courtroom, just aching silence and a dim lamp humming in the corner. Elijah finally spoke, voice small. "Why'd you fight so hard, Ava?" She took his hand. "Because you would have done the same for me." They sat there broken but not defeated. The world outside roared for justice. Inside, they simply breathed. Somewhere in the darkness beyond their walls, sirens wailed. Somewhere in a cold sheriff's office, Keller stared at his badge, knowing the storm was coming for him next. And somewhere in the heart of a tired nation, people whispered her name, not as a martyr, not as a symbol, but as a reminder that truth only matters when someone is brave enough to speak it. Not all battles end in silence or glory. Some end in rain, fear, and a single act of courage. But courage, real courage, isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing truth even when it costs everything. If it were you standing at that door in the rain, with the truth in your hand and danger on both sides, would you open it? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And for more powerful stories like this, make sure to turn on the notification bell and subscribe to the channel.